All right, Nelson, thank you so much for doing this. Okay,
Thank you.
go. Oh. Eighth major league team. Eighth major league team, right? I'm doing the math right?
Yeah,
Eighth.
I counted the other day.
Do you forget sometimes how many teams you've been part of?
I had to start. 8.
Do you forget how many years you've played sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, I know the year that I come up, but I was up and down the first few years, so I don't know exactly how many major league servers.
You don't have enough fingers to count how many years you've played. I mean, you have to use your toes.
Yeah.
All right, what stands out about San Diego that's different in the Padres than the other teams that you've played with? Anything?
Yeah. Very professional, you know. I guess if you think as a player something that you need to be ready for the game or to make you comfortable or whatever it might be to make you happy, I guess we have it here.
Have
Yes.
you figured out where everything is?
Yes, I already figured it out. Especially the nap run. I know exactly where to go
For what?
to take naps.
Oh, the nap room. I didn't even know there is a nap room.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah, you didn't even know. How long?
I didn't even know. Much longer, 10 years, 10 plus years. And I've never heard of the nap room, so this is exciting. Okay,
Oh, Tatis just hit a homer.
how fun is it to see Fernando back?
I'm really excited. I mean, he's a guy who can bring a lot to the table.
How long have you known him?
2008, 2009, maybe.
You knew his dad, right? You played with his dad?
I played with his dad in WBC. 2009, I played against his dad in the minors and the big leagues. So
Did they call you like Papa Cruz or anything like that? I mean, is it like
Manny called me dad.
Manny calls you Papa Cruz? I'm gonna get to that later because I think it's so interesting. Okay, I make a big deal out of your age. I feel bad about it sometimes, but I think it's really remarkable. I mean, 42 years old, 19 seasons in the big leagues. Like, you don't get there if you're not doing something right. You know, to have longevity in the league and still be performing at a high level, it's so good. Did you ever think you'd be playing this long?
Not really. I mean, coming up, you always want to play. Okay, hopefully I can play 10 years, you know. I guess it comes quick, you know. It's pretty like close and open, and then here we go, 19 years, you know.
Yes.
So I always tell the guys, you know, take advantage of any opportunity that you have, especially like playoff, World Series, stuff like that. Because remember when I was in Texas, we went back-to-back years to the World Series, and like, oh, this is easy, I'm gonna go every year. And then it's been almost 12 years since the last time I was there. So it took me maybe 3-4 more years after that to realize, okay, it's hard to go there. So any chance that I had to be in the playoff, you know, I always make sure I tell the guys, suck it in, you know. You don't know if you're gonna go back or when you're gonna go back.
That's one thing you haven't done. You've done a lot in your career, but win a World Series is still on the list, right?
Yeah.
Jake Cronenworth said the other day that he loves having you around because you've seen like every situation possible for a player in baseball pretty much, and they can go to you and you can relate to them. Do guys come to you? Do you go to them? Like how does that all work?
I can go back and forth. I can go and talk to the kid about hitting. If I see something that I feel that I can help, and I don't have to be necessarily a position player. I can be a pitcher also. If I see like the TP, you need to throw this pitch, maybe that help you to get better. So I feel like it's part of my job also now, like stay involved in it in situations that come up during the game, or not necessarily out on the game, but outside on life in general.
You're kind of part coach. Do you think that?
I guess.
Do you not want to be part coach?
Yeah, I guess it's part of me now. I don't see it as a coach. I see it like a guy who has experience on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coach is the wrong word. Right. You're experienced. You're
Yeah.
seasoned. You know.
I'm here, like I said, to help, you know, and I feel like probably because I live a little bit longer, you know, I experience more stuff than then. And as a coach, sometimes as a player, you don't listen too much to the coaches and stuff like that. So it's good to have a guy who they can realize and say, okay, he's done it, he's experienced maybe that, and go and ask me. And I love to do that. I feel like I want them to be in the best position that they can be to be successful on the field. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the Dominican Republic. When you were growing up, you were working a lot of jobs, right? Like you worked on tractors and mechanic and shoe shine. Do I got them all?
Yeah.
How were you? How was all that?
Well, my dad and my mom, they're both teachers. I don't think I make enough money doing all of that. But the message wasn't like we wanted to work. The message was I wanted to learn hard work, and
Yes.
my dad always said like if I'm doing something else besides playing around, be more likely they are not gonna do anything wrong outside of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So he always wanted me to put on to work and keep my mind busy doing other stuff, so I'm not making troubles outside of my house and with other kids, you know. Yeah.
What were you the best at of all those jobs?
I hate mechanic.
Like, so you're not gonna go work on anyone's car anytime soon?
After I signed, even like 10 years after I was in the big leagues, still had nightmares. Like I had to go back to work.
Like, what would you like? Oil changes and like.
Yeah, oil changes, like changing transmission, changing motors, like fixing everything, you know.
Didn't like it.
And I was a kid. I wanna play around. So, but I always had nightmares. Thank God now they're going away. I don't have those no more.
That would be rough. That would be hard. So they were both teachers. So what was that like? Like, do you always have to do your homework, make sure everything was done? I mean,
Yeah, they were my teachers. Imagine I had to be the first one in class.
how hard was that? Like, would they scold you or be like, oh?
I had to say the classes every day. I cannot miss school. You know, they know everything because
They see you with all your friends.
classes they see. Okay, even like to have a haircut. I want to do a haircut, and he was like, "No, you cannot do it." I was like, "Why? I wanna, the guys have it, like." And he was like, "You have to be the example. How I gonna tell the other kids to don't do it if my son has that?" So you have to be the example. I'm like, okay, I get it.
You had to be very responsible. Very. Wow, that's amazing. But I mean, it's also in some ways. I mean, like, you're a very kind person.
The ethic of work, I think it comes from there, Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what you've done though for your hometown, because I think it's so cool. I mean, you grew up right. There wasn't necessarily running water or electricity, and you've gone back. You helped purchase the first fire truck, the first ambulance. You held a clinic where people in your town could get dental work and mammograms. You bring baseball gear back to them. You've spent so much time and money like helping where you grew up. Why? Why has that been like such a guiding light for you?
I always saw my dad doing the same thing when I was growing up. He always meetings, tried to figure out how we can help the community. And I always like, if you had the chance to do it, you always dream, when I had the chance to be like Sammy Sosa, I will help my community. And you go to different towns where you see, okay, yes, I see electricity, I see ambulance, and it's like, I want the same thing for my community. So once I find out, one of my friends, he had mental problems, and his house just burned completely because we don't have the fire truck.
Wow.
So I showed up to the spin training. I was like, I had to buy a fire truck. So I went to the trainers. Who do I ask? And we started looking online. The fire truck, they cost like $300,000. I was like, I'm making the minimum now. Like, I don't gotta buy that. So
You just drop that.
Yeah. So I talked to the Rangers Foundation, and they talked to the fire department in Arlington. They helped me out with that, and then I ended up buying the ambulance, and they donated the fire truck.
That's like life changing. I mean, that saves people's lives.
Yes, it is. Yes. I got a few times stopped my community or around because it wasn't only my community. People from other community called and they used the ambulance and the fire truck. So a lot of people stop by and tell me like, thank you because the ambulance that you brought my grandma, my aunt, is alive. So I know how important those things are, like you take that for granted here in the States. You call and you don't think about it, you just show up,
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's not the same way there. Even to move the ambulance, you have to pay to put the gas on the ambulance before they leave. We try to do the best we can to help all the people who have those needs.
It's so cool. I mean, really it is. And you've gotten, I know, the Roberto Clemente Award. You've gotten the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award. You live in the Dominican in the off season, right? Do you live on a farm?
I have a farm. Yeah, I do have.
Like with animals? Like, no, come on. Like with like cows and chickens, and do you take care of them? Do you know how?
I know how. Yeah, I'll grow up. I always take care of the cows with my grandpa.
Like you milk the cows,
The cow.
get the eggs, the chicken.
Yes. I have trouble because sometimes I forgot to go. They told me to go, and then I go to the river and forgot, and then I was in trouble. But yeah, I know how to do all that.
Sometimes I'll see you in the clubhouse. You're talking to your kids on the phone, and it's like the sweetest thing. You're telling them you love them and things like that. Your family seems very important to you. How do you balance fatherhood and baseball? And what kind of dad are you? Like, are you a softie? Do you give in to anything, especially with the daughters? I mean, what kind of dad are you?
Yeah, I can be hard and soft. I guess I try to make a balance. With my daughter, definitely I'm more soft.
Yeah.
With my boy, I want to be a little bit harder. I guess that's a natural, be a boy and a girl. But yeah, I wanna make sure I tell them that I love it, and that's the same thing that I have from my dad and my mom. So show them love, and that's how they, I guess, get it right,
Do you remember like their first few years in the United States? Like, was it a culture shock in terms of like language or food or being away from your family?
Yeah, I think the language wasn't that hard. I learned the language pretty quick. Just the food, that was the hardest part, I was used to the Dominican food, my mom's food. It was like from one side to the other, it's a flip. I remember I tried to eat in Panda Express every day because they had rice that tastes a little bit like Dominican. So that was my go-to place to eat.
What was it called? Which one?
Panda Express.
Panda Express, because you'd get the rice. And when you first were signed by the Mets, and then by the time you made it to the majors, like, it wasn't necessarily an easy path. And then your first few years in the majors, you didn't necessarily have like crazy success right away, right? Like, it was a kind of a winding road, right? Like, how tough were those times a little bit, like in the beginning?
Yeah, like anything in life. If I can go back, I would tell myself, chill out, you're gonna be okay. But I was reading a text that I have today about God. Sometimes you pray for something, and now that you don't have it, now that you have it, you forgot that you was praying for that. So I remember praying to be in the big leagues, and then wow, yes, I have that. I prayed to play for many years in the big leagues. Now I had it,
Yeah.
So definitely have to appreciate all the little things that you have, and sometimes you forgot that you pray for those things,
You're so accomplished, 7-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, 19 years. You're one of the best pure power hitters of this generation. Is there a certain year of your career or a certain award that means the most to you?
Yeah, I think the humanitarian awards, the Muhammad Ali Roberto Clemente Award, because you're changing life, I remember the first few years, every year, but the first few years when we do the clinic, the dentist clinic.
Yes.
People show up with no teeth, and they really shy. I guess, the identity wasn't there. They don't want to smile, and then a few hours later they show up really happy, like they really smiling, and I mean, you're changing people's life, Yes, the confidence shows, and you cannot buy anything with that, I guess. Similar stuff is hitting homers, maybe, but you're changing people's life, and that stays forever. So
they change other people's lives.
Yeah, those awards are the one that really make the most, I guess, make me more proud to have. Yeah.
When you first came in the league, you know how Fernando like does the bat flips and the dancing? Was that happening?
No.
Oh. Like, you would have gotten pinged or something.
Yeah, you got hit our way.
Will we ever see you dance out there?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You could probably maybe even better than Fernando,
Depends what we dancing, yeah.
Manny, you and Manny, you I don't know if you have a relationship before he came into the Orioles and into baseball. No. So how did your relationship blossom?
I remember watching him coming up. Like, I saw big prospect from the Orioles, and I always brought food to the clubhouse, to the Dominican players and the Latin players. So I saw the Orioles come in. I saw, like, 2 days before that he hit a double, first big league hit. So I was like, let me send the food to Manny. So I went to third. I was like, oh, thank you very much. So like, okay, I got you tomorrow too.
So grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the first 2 years going to the league, it was hard because I always loved my food. I always wanted my Dominican food. So going to the league, it was hard to find food. you know. So I don't want that feeling. So I make sure the players who go to play against me, at least they go with that flavor, you know. And I create that relationship with those players through food.
I just want to pause because it's so big. I don't know, like, when you got the idea for this or what, but like, so I just want to explain, like, Manny would come play at the ballpark, and you would make sure there was Dominican food in his locker or any of the Latin, ready for him or for any of the Latin players, and you would do that for whoever was coming to town. You just don't see that. I mean, did you just have that idea one day and say, you know what, this could be kind of cool? Or, I mean, it's so special.
Yeah, I mean, I did it in the minors.
Yeah.
Like when I was in AAA, I remember like a few guys go there, and I always make sure that I cook for them and I bring the food. Back then, I used to cook for
what kind of Dominican food?
and whatever rice, beans, yeah. And then when I got called up, I remember went to Anaheim, and Vladi always sent food to us. Yeah. So I guess that's how everything comes up, you know.
Did you do that for a while in your career, or?
I'll be doing it today.
You still be doing it?
I got food to the guys.
Come on. Like, you'll send it over to whoever,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if they are not a rookie or they've been in the league.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
doesn't matter, yeah.
That is so cool. I'm sorry, you just really don't see that up
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
expect that from the same side too. When I go there, I was expecting to send me food. Like we
Do
went
they
there,
send you food?
we went to the break. I was like, "What is my food?" Oh, my wife is not here. You know, like, oh, you're making excuses. You know, again. I was like, I got you. I gotta bring you food there.
We
Don't
gotta
worry.
step up, you know? We gotta step up. That's what we gotta do.
Take that like a big responsibility. I want them to feel, I guess, they're always thinking about them. You know, so it don't matter who they are. I always thinking, okay, who's on the other side? Okay, bring food to the other guys. We also do it to my teammates here. We also bring food to my teammates here. So
Anybody that wants to eat some of that
we
food.
always have it there. We always have it there.
What was young Manny like? How different it was young Manny versus who he is now?
He looked pretty similar. Definitely, he grew up. He's very mature now. I'm really proud of him because yes, he's definitely shows leadership. So see him in Spock doing the meetings, talk to guys. It definitely shows that he's growing, and I guess he's learning through the years.
You spent the bulk of your career with the Rangers. How long have you known Preller, and have you guys kept in touch?
Since the Rangers, yeah, same guy. Haven't changed.
Would he play basketball and come around like looking all rumpled and his hair out of?
And I saw him like, who's this guy?
You're like, does he work here?
Yeah. Yeah, humble guy. Like he's always have positive stuff to say, really on point. I mean, he's really smart. So yeah, we talked last year a little bit. I remember the year before, I almost came here. Manny called me, "Can you play first?" Like, yes, I play first, DH, catch, outfield, whatever you need me.
I love that.
Yeah.
You got in a game at first earlier. Who's
Oh
who
my God.
left first?
Oh, I was so pumped.
Have you always wanted to play first? And
Played first 2021
Okay.
with the race.
with the Rays.
Yeah.
You're mostly outfield for your career, right? So when you got to play first, you're like, this is it. This is my mecca.
This is what I want to do. I mean,
Why do you love first?
because it's fun, you know?
A lot of action.
Yes.
And you get to talk to all the.
Yes. Runners get on base. You talk to the runners. You talk to the umpires. You talk to the coaches. In the outfield, like, I mean, it's okay, but it's boring, you know?
Would you talk to Would you talk trash to them, like, or would you be like, hey, how's it going?
We talk, yeah.
Whose glove did you use when you played first?
My glove. I mean,
You
no.
have your glove with you.
No, Miguel Sano gave me his a glove like 2019 or 20.
And you still have it.
Yeah, so I've been using that.
You have a little bit of a relationship connection with AJ because you were general manager for the WBC. Did you ask him for any advice, and how do you think you did at this general manager job? Did you like it? Is it fit for you?
Yeah, it was nice. It was a lot of work. I believe we get together the best team.
Yes.
The analysis say we have the best team on the tournament. The results doesn't show it, but the experience was awesome. I talked to AJ a bunch about Soto, about all this stuff, and also about situations that might come up during the tournament. So it was nice. Now we can talk about GMs, and
Now you're like part of the club. Do you like being called Nelly?
yeah.
Okay. Nelly Cruz, thank you for taking the time. We are enjoying getting to know you here in San Diego. Papa Cruz is also kicking a lot of the younger kids' butts. Like, I don't know. I mean, they got to respect it a little bit. Like, your power, your production right now, it's a clinic, my friend.
Oh, hopefully continue that. That's the thing. Yeah.
That's what we want. I appreciate this very much. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, you got it.